Hey guys, can y'all hear me okay? All right. It's a little early still. Took me a while to figure out how to set this up. Okay, I think we're good on my end. All right, I see 4 people. Someone could tap a hello. This is my first time doing it, so I'm not really sure how quickly things pop up or coming through great. Okay, thank you so much. I was going to use my phone today, but I couldn't find a live in it, so who knows? I don't know. But I did have some questions that people wanted to know kind of how we got here. And let's see, I'll start in a little bit. Let's give like 30 seconds. I do like to be on time. And I wrote down what they said, or I took a screenshot. Are y'all watching the Super Bowl today? We don't get that channel, so we will not be watching, or I don't know how to find that channel. But for the new people out there, my name is Sarah, and I am the face of Tiny Shed Life. And the shed's not so tiny anymore, but when we first started, it was literally 240 square feet that we all lived in, and we've kind of expanded over the time period. So when Jesus Rules asked me a question. So when you get on, be sure to tell me so I can answer your questions. And then the same for Catherine and Rugged Mountain Homestead. I know y'all had some questions for me. And then if you have any questions, if you're just on here, feel free to ask in the comment section. Right now, we are just, I want to show you my yard, but I wanted to have my phone so I could walk y'all around. We planted 8 fruit trees in the front yard, and we are going to be doing like this really beautiful like circular garden out from the fire pit. So I'm hoping to bring that video to y'all very soon once I get it done. It's going to be awesome. It's just really hot here in Texas. Like we get 115 degrees. February is normally our coldest month, but it's 80. What is it? It's 90 out today, so it's hot. Okay, so I'll just get started. Jesus Rules. He's probably one of our first like really committed subscribers. So I always thank him for his comments. I assume it's a him, her. And it says, I have several questions regarding how you first started out the homestead, what you both did before and decision to move in our finances. So we are actually high school sweethearts, and then we dated in high school and we broke up for 4 years and did not see each other at all like during that 4-year time period before getting back together. But my husband was in the Marines, and he served 3 different tours. He did 2 to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan. And during that time, we actually were writing letters as friends to each other. And they were not romantic letters or anything. It was just like supportive letters. And I still cared about him. We just were not like romantically involved or anything. Plus, I was in college, and we were just decided we just wanted to do our own thing and kind of just go out into the world instead of like dating through the whole time period. But as soon as he got back from Iraq, and before he left for Afghanistan, we got back together. And when he got out of the military, we got married 3 months later, and it was just been a whirlwind since then. We live very traditional lives in the suburbs of a big city. He was a hotshot driver for a while, working for an oil company. And then when I found out I was pregnant with my second child, and I was working full time, so we had a kid in daycare, which I really did not like. It was really hard for me to leave him. And I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So before when I found out I was pregnant with my second child, he actually got laid off a week after that. And we kind of it was a reality check on our finances, how dependent we were on 2 incomes. And we just didn't like the way that felt. And I don't know, that was kind of just like the first thing that really had us just take a break, like, whoa, we really need to think about what we're doing. And we were pretty young. We were like 25, 26 when we had our first kid. Just compared to the sun's coming in, just compared to like what people do. I think other people kind of wait till they're 30 or a little bit older. So he had always wanted to continue to like help people. So he went into the police academy, and he was in the Houston, I think he worked for Houston PD for like 2 years. And then he joined their gangs task force. And if you can imagine, that was extremely stressful. It was a very demanding job, and he was gone a whole lot, and it was very dangerous. And well, he probably loved it because that's his environment he thrives in. I did not like it. And guys, there was a time period where he had been run over by a car every day. Can y'all see me okay? It's kind of bright. Every day he was pulling out his weapon. He was in foot chases. And just the system was not very friendly. And it probably still is not super friendly to like police officers. And it's just a dangerous job. So I kind of started thinking, I want to be home with my kids. And we also started getting really into the food we were eating and like where it was coming from. So it just got really, I don't know, just sorry, I'm kind of like the kids are walking around. Anyways, so there's a whole lot of events that had us want to do this. We bought this property 10 years ago with the intent of just having somewhere to go hunting. And we bought the little shed in probably 5 years after owning it. And we thought we'll just camp out there. And then after all the crazy events happened with work and just the world, this was right before 2020. So it was like 2019. We said, how small could you live? Like, what could we do? How can we both be home with the kids and have better food and just, I don't know. And I know it's not a big house, and a lot of people kind of hounded me on that in my last video. Is that the house tour video? But it's really everything that we need, and it's a bunk room that they sleep in. We're outside. Like if you see right now, they're burning piles of wood over there, and I don't know. Y'all have any more questions? I feel like I'm just rambling on. The finance-wise, I was working part-time from home when he quit the police department and came out here. And everything was actually fine until COVID hit and the prices of everything really just skyrocketed. So I moved to working full-time. It's always been from home. And he is now making chicken coops and selling those. He also does a guardian program where he trains teachers, to carry weapons at the school, and just they do a lot of like training of in an emergency, how to lock down the school, how to, save people at the same time. It's a really cool thing. So he still gets to be involved, and y'all, he's so smart and so good at that stuff. It's amazing. Sometimes he has a hard time letting me go places because he's like, are you aware of where you're at and where you can exit? I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of hot. Do y'all have any questions? I see some people on. I'm just not seeing anything pop up. I did see Thankful K coming in great. But I don't see anything else. Are you on here, Rugged Mountain Homestead? So she asked, was there any pivotal moment that caused you and your husband, hold on, it disappeared, that caused you and your husband, stop, to leave the societal norms and seek out this life? Or was it a dream that both of you shared and were finally able to do? So I think kind of what I mentioned with him and the police force, it was a lot, and that kind of had us thinking because our family was growing, and he had a father that was not really involved, and I think that was hard on him growing up. And he really wants to be there for the kids, and he wants to teach them things and share with them what he knows, so when they go out into society, they can be like super productive, or at least capable humans. For me, I've never liked what everyone else is doing. I like to take pieces of it. I'm never like full on like one direction or the other. I've just always liked being different. I finished college in 3 years because at one point I went full time to 2 different schools and was working on my degree. I had to pay for it on my own. So it was expensive to be, living somewhere and doing all that. I've just never liked what everyone else is doing. So if I see a bunch of people flocking to something, I kind of take a step back and see what's going on. I have to be honest, like when I see people in the grocery store and the kids are just on the phones going to town, it makes me sad because that's where we've gone as a community. Since my children were little, I've taken them grocery shopping and trying to teach them how to behave in the store, how to behave in public. And I think we're kind of lacking that. So I think moving out here was a way for me to be able to decide more what they were going to learn and how I was going to socialize them, because I I get hounded too about homeschooling not being socialized, but I think sitting in a classroom is probably far less socializing than the amount of places my kids go. And I just wanted to be able to take them more places. So that was one of the reasons why we moved out here, and to grow our own food and just teach them all of that. I didn't know any of that, so it's all new to me. He's not like it was in the 90s. What's actually nice, we're a little bit better than it was today. Sitting here envying your sunny day. Okay, y'all. Yes, so things definitely probably changed in the 90s. I'm assuming you're just talking about policing. Is that correct, Remington? It was kind of weird because some of the days he would come home from work and say, all they wanted me to do today was get felonies, to slap felonies on people. And then they would take them to the jail. And then the next day, those same people would be on the street. So it was quite a interesting policy that the city had or wanted. It's not challenging to grow, thankful Kay. The challenging part is we have some extremes. Like we have a very long growing season, but February is normally, the grocery store. Sorry. So normally February is our coldest month, and this is when we plant our fruit trees and everything's very dormant, but it has been over 80 for over a week. So I have buds on my fruit trees, which is not good. I'm worried we will get another cold freeze probably in March or April, and it will kill anything that has decided to sprout now. So I'm not excited about that, but for the most part, it's easy to grow here because it's warm a lot. But we do see down to like 14 degrees all the way up to 115. It's a crazy place. Hey, Rugged Mountain Homestead. Yes. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading the sun. Yes, I was talking about what made us move. This was not necessarily always our dream, but we bought this place because we wanted to have somewhere to take the kids around the country, go hunting. We like to harvest our own meat, venison and stuff. And it just kind of unfolded. I said, how small can you live? And there's a place that we went to. Let's see, we had 2 kids the first time we went, and the Amish built it. And it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, very small home. And we would vacation there every year. And each year we added another kid. And it was a very functional home. And because when you live out in the country, you don't really spend a lot of time inside. We were vacationing there. So they had the pool, they had like some games and barbecuing and a fire pit. And we spent all the time outside. And then we would go in and sleep. And staying at that place a couple of times showed us that we really just need somewhere to lay our heads. And we'd rather have space outside, which is so much healthier for everybody. I will say, I know like some people were not a fan of how big our bedroom was. It's like 10 feet 6 or 11 foot 3 by like 13. So it's not giant. And I still wanted the home to feel like a traditional home. Like if we ever wanted to sell this place, people aren't going to want it chopped up. They're going to want to feel that master bedroom and that secondary room, which they could use as a bedroom or a sewing room or just something else. We're pretty remote. People are not really traditional out here. When we got quotes to try to build a house, they needed a minimum to be able to come out this far. They wanted us to have a minimum of 2,000 square foot house, which we knew we could not afford. Or they were going to charge us double for like a small home. It's not affordable to build out here. Do y'all have any other questions? I'm feeling a little nervous. Y'all want to know what I'm growing, what we've been up to? Anything? It is hot. I'm sweating. I'm in shorts and a tank top. The kids have really taken a hold of the garden this year and what they want to plant. My only request was I wanted tomatoes and tomatillos because I'm going to make some salsa verde for some eggs that I like to eat in the morning. And they wanted potatoes, lots of potatoes and cucumbers. So we're doing that. Yeah, so in the garden, I still have our collards, mustard greens, and some beets in the ground, but they are not liking this heat at all. They are very wilted, and I don't know how good they're going to taste after. The beets will probably be fine, but the collards and the mustard greens probably need to be given to the chickens. But we're doing pumpkins, cantaloupe, watermelon, I would like to be able to can absolutely all of our tomato products, salsas, pastes, all of that. So I'm hoping to do 100 feet of tomatoes. I don't know how much that will produce. And then we'll have cucumbers. I said tomatillos. We're going to do some basil for the herbs. We had harvested about 400 pounds of sweet potatoes last year, and I'm saving those to make my own slips. I'm hoping to do another 100 feet. And I also want to sell some locally. We have some other homesteaders around us trying to make some additional homestead income. I'm trying to keep it simple, but it's hard. And I have lots of peppers. I have orange bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. I'm doing some poblanos and some cayenne for when we can the cucumbers. That is one thing about living down here is the peppers really love to grow. I was trying to convince my husband to get us some avocado trees, but they're really expensive and it's kind of a lot to start. And then if they die, would you ever eat fruits for just experience end up being failing all the time? Would you ever try tropical fruits for just an experiment? Tropical like bananas, is that what you're thinking? Because right now I planted peaches, pears, plums, and an apricot tree. In the past, we've tried figs, lemons and limes, and orange trees. They have all died. Y'all, I water. I try shade clothing them. Everything here goes to die. I don't know what it is. You'll buy some, Catherine. Perfect. Have you thought about adding any shade cloth for protection? Some plants. Okay. Yes. So I am kind of like, I don't realize how much work stuff takes. And I just tell my husband, like, put these posts here. I want to be able to move a shade cloth over the garden and then off of the garden during like hurricane season. So we do get hurricanes here. I think during Hurricane Harvey, our area got like 30 inches of rain. So obviously the garden would not do well. So I also want to be able to like tarp it over. So if it's raining too much, I can control that. I don't know if that's realistic to even do, especially since we've expanded the garden. But I think I would love like just some shade cloths, maybe like a 30%. I know Rugged Mountain Homestead, you are also probably a higher elevation, so you probably get a lot of sun. It's the same. Yeah, like I've already told him that we need to add more fencing, and he's still trying to finish up the fence for the cows, which y'all, we're getting so close. I'm really excited to get that put in. Oh, and we have garlic going, which Catherine, I'll probably be selling some garlic because we have some left from last year too. The biggest project, I want to turn it around, but it's so messy. But we have fenced off like the whole front of our house because we went hiking. All right, let's start at the beginning. We went hiking and there was this butterfly garden. And I told my husband, I want the butterfly garden in front of the house. So we've sectioned this area off and we'll be expanding like to have like herbs and different pollinator plants out front. I want to keep it very native so it thrives in the heat. And then in front of that, we're seeding some grasses because we want grass to roll around in. I don't know. It's just, there's so much dirt everywhere and it gets tracked in. The old house, we had this beautiful green lawn in the front and I just kind of miss sitting in the grass. I think I had one more question and then I really don't have anything else to ask, but it was from Catherine. You asked about some of the food that I cook. So we are very, very clean and simple because I feel like I already spend so much time inside with laundry and cleaning and trying to cook everything from scratch. My favorite meals are honestly, I put chicken in the crock pot and I shred that up and either we'll eat some of that first night or I'll space it out through the week, bag it and freeze it. But we will do like a rice or a bean with that and then like 2 vegetables. Hi, T-shirt 40. I know you're in Texas too. So I really like brown rice and I don't know, it takes a little bit longer to cook. So we'll sometimes do the white rice and I can dress that up to make it more of like a Spanish rice. And then we can turn the chicken into a chicken taco. So I try to keep it very simple what I prep. So when I go to cook food, it's just easy to roll out. If you have the shredded chicken ready, you can do the white rice and some broccoli and a, can of, what's that soup called? Like condensed soup. And you may in shredded cheese. So you have a casserole there. You can make pasta, throw shredded chicken into the tomato sauce. I just keep it super simple. And I've been teaching the kids, which does take a lot of energy, but now I have 2 kids that can pretty much function all of the meals on their own if they had to. And that's very helpful in the evenings. What kind of weather are you getting where you're at T-shirt 40? Are you hot too? I will probably only want to be on for like 10 more minutes. Did y'all have other questions? What did y'all think of this live? I don't know. I liked it. I'm a little nervous. I feel like the sun's in my face, but it's a beautiful day here. Some upcoming videos, actually, since I have y'all on, next week's video, I am part of a group that is giving away a freeze dryer, and you need to be sure to check out that video. And there's going to be a link on it that you can sign up for the freeze dryer. So if you're interested in one of those, definitely check that out. And then I have some more stuff coming with Azure Standard. We're going to do another giveaway, and we're going to be working on some fun stuff with them. Dear me, you got my family in North Carolina. We do all the time. Oh, good. I do like the live streams. They're kind of hard sometimes for me to get on with all the kids. But like for me to participate in others. Oh, you're out of state. Yeah. So we do have some cold weather, which I'm a little nervous. Hopefully it doesn't get below freezing and kill off everything that I've planted, like the fruit trees, because they are blooming and they shouldn't be yet. I'm really glad I had up to 10 people at one point on here, which is exciting. I'm trying to think what else to say. Okay, I know what else. We are hatching some of our own chicks. I have no idea if they are going to hatch or not, but I have 22 in our incubator, and we're going to call them barn chickens because they're just a mixture of a bunch of breeds. And then we went ahead and ordered some heritage breed and a couple other ones. Chickens are really expensive right now. If y'all look at some of the hatcheries, especially if you're just ordering a small number, if you kind of do the bulk of like 25 or more of one breed, you can get a pretty decent deal, but they've doubled in prices. I think shipping's gotten a lot more expensive, but I bought 33 of multiple kinds. So those will be coming in like 2 weeks, I think. So we'll be brooding those. We're going to set up a little bit different than we have in the past. We had this big brooder box, but we want something that's more movable and lighter so we can move stuff around a lot easier. Oh, yeah. So I have let the hens hatch one chick before. I had a really bad experience the second time we tried to let them hatch. Other chickens kept coming in and laying into that hen's box. And so I had this weird assortment of some that were alive and some that weren't. And it was just bad. But we did have one hatch. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about trying it again, but I would love it ideally. I have read the Buff Orpingtons are super good mothers. So I actually ordered 12 of those in my next batch. And I'm hoping to let her or them maybe mother some of them, when they start laying and stuff. I just want to be sustainable. So if something were like maybe crazy were to happen, I know I'm not super like the world's going to end, but I like to keep it in mind. We would still have chicken and meat, and I don't know. It's always good to practice old skills in my mind and still use modern technology while you have it. Let's see what else. When you're ready to make cabinets, you can visit my place. Yeah. You told me you were making your own cabinets, T-shirt 40. We ordered ours from Lowe's. So I want to tell y'all, like, a lot of people, it's very easy to say move stuff around, like, oh, I'd put your washer here or this. It's not just like moving a piece of furniture in your home. Like our propane line or our electricity is all run to one location. So you'd have to like run more lines and hire people to come out and do that. It doesn't just move itself. One of the reasons why the washing machine is in the kids' room was that was the only space we had. So when we moved out here, it had to be where running water was and where we could use it, because 6 people make a lot of laundry, especially we had like a newborn basically. And you know how that is going through laundry with them. And I don't run it at night. I run it during the day, and I just do it once or twice a day to keep up with it. We create a lot of laundry. Another good thing is when they come in from outside, that laundry is dirty. So I can rinse it in their sink and automatically put it in there and not have to tromp through other parts of the room. I was thinking like isolating them like you would put. Yes. No, that's what I think we'll have to do if we want them to hatch. We'll have to isolate the chickens. Plus, I don't want the breeds mixing because I ordered 2 roosters as well, or maybe only 1 rooster, Buff Orpington. So we'd have to build a whole nother area for them. Okay, you want to see the setup? All right, when we get it done, Kaysen's been working on these little cages we're making. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I think it would be a cool thing to try, Sarah. I know your name's Sarah. I don't have to call you Rugged Mountain Homestead. What else? I know. It's a little bit of a different setup here, and we run life quite differently. We both are home with the kids 99% of the time. And I really like it. It is tiring having 5 kids that want your attention all the time, but I don't know. They're pretty good. Everywhere we go, people compliment us about how well behaved they are and attentive. Just, I don't know. I think when you put them out in those situations a lot more, they just start to learn how to behave and become little adults. Another something for our husbands to build. Yes, very much so. I'm curious. We don't have a lot of large predators here. How do y'all handle like bears and things out if y'all are in the mountain areas? I saw someone was in, did you say North Carolina? Do you have bears there? I would assume some kind of little black bear or something. Most of our predators here are going to be like snakes, fox, raccoons, just smaller animals, coyotes. We have that. So we definitely have to do the chicken wire and the chicken fencing. If y'all don't have electric netting, it has been amazing out here. We have not had any problems. Even one of our coops, we don't even close up at night and it does fine. So I'm going to knock on some wood for that one, that they'll stay alive. But okay, anything else, guys, that I can talk about? Anything about the house? I don't know. Our coop and run is like Fort Knox. We do have bears, coyotes, mountain lions, and bobcats. So yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks, Sarah. We have a family of bobcats in the back somewhere. We've caught them on the game camera. They don't come out too often. Okay, from the mountain. Okay. But for the most part, we also let our dog sleep outside, and I think she kind of keeps everything away. I really want to get goats again, y'all. That's probably on my list, but it was heartbreaking. We had 2 goats, and they were really beautiful. They just took off running. It was kind of heartbreaking and an expensive mistake. I don't know. Everyone we talked to about, they're like, we've never had goats do that. So it was interesting. But yeah. Okay, guys. Any more questions? I really, really appreciate everyone that hopped on here and was patient and kind with me. We pushed a lot of the wildlife away or further back when we built the cabin. Our dogs keep at bay as well. Yeah. I do think the dog being outside is really helpful to keep a lot of the critters away. So I planted these fruit trees in the front, and I have caged a couple of them because we do get deer. They come right up to the house, especially like some of the really cold nights. We'll bring the dog in because obviously we want her to be outside. But the deer will come and chew up everything. They ate all my pepper plants that I did not have fenced in, and we're going to have to put some fencing around the other part of the garden. Y'all know the debacle with the sweet potatoes. I'm really hoping, so I've been reading this book, and it's a lot more about, I don't know, it's like micro gardening, I guess, and like creating little climates. And he has a really good write-up on how he uses his sweet potato, like vines and sunflowers and corn stalks and the stuff that you don't really use for composting. So I'm really hoping to actually have some leaves left from our sweet potatoes this year so I can get a good compost because our compost is like $600 for a truck. I mean, I haven't even asked this year. It's probably been over a year or 2 since we ordered it. I would love to have our own compost. If you're in the country and have a fire pit, keep a fire going all year. I promise it keeps oh, that's really interesting. Do you feel like, so Lee Ann said, if you are in the country and have a fire pit, keep it going all year. I promise it keeps all the pests and predators away. I bet it does because they probably, see it dancing. My worry is, so you let the fire die out and just smoke? Yeah, so we get burn bans a lot here where we can't burn anything, especially during the summer. Um, and it gets pretty windy, and I would be kind of worried that something would blow and like catch on fire. But maybe if I had like something more enclosed, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. We did take a vacation. We went to Colorado for 2 weeks a couple years ago, and we had 30 like chickens. And we set up all these lights that would go off or come on at different times. And we had the electric fence, and we hung up a bunch of things that like rattled and made sounds. And we did not lose any chickens while we were gone. And we took the dogs, so there was like nothing here. We did not lose any chickens until we actually got home, and we put them into their house because they were on our porch. And I was like, why are the chickens on our porch? At that time, we had 2 batches, the new one and these older girls. And my husband is like, I'm getting trained back after this vacation. He put him in there, and I guess there was a hole in there, something, and the raccoons killed all of them that night we got home. It was awful. Like, they were totally fine while we were gone. But we've since upgraded the whole system to avoid that problem. But it was sad. Yeah. But okay, guys. Well, I will let y'all go watch if y'all are watching the football game. And I appreciate you being here and spending this 30 minutes with me. If you liked it, we can do it again, and we can talk about gardening. I'm soil blocking stuff, which is my first year to do that, and it's going great. Everything is sprouting. It's amazing. I think my long-term goal, I'd love to like host things here and share more about what we learn and like teach people, the homesteading life. It's just really fun. It can be aggravating a lot of failure. But for the most part, it's nice having your own food and like knowing where it comes from. But that's it for me. Y'all take care and have a great rest of your Sunday. I appreciate you being here. Stay blessed too. Y'all take care. Okay. Bye-bye. I don't know how to close this. It's so hard. Yes, it is, Sarah. So hard, but worth it. Oh, there it is, y'all. I'm like an 80-year-old person sometimes. Okay, take care.